Thank you guys. Hopefully I can get through this without crying, but I don't make any guarantees. Before I get started, I wanted to mention that I had some scans and some blood work done last Saturday, and I saw my doctors yesterday, and I got another year, or another 6 months of clean scans, so I'm very happy about that. Thank you. And thank you to the committee members of the Oak Forest chapter for Relay for Life for allowing me the humble honor of giving the survivor speech this year. It's something I didn't accept lightly. I have not been shy, nor have I been quiet about my cancer journey with the people that know me. And while I feel I'm preaching to the choir here, I hope that what I have to offer tonight in some small way touches you and enriches your life. I was diagnosed with stage 3 rectal cancer in February 2014 at the age of 38. I was married to Renee and I have 2 young girls. At the time, Brianna was 12 and Sophia was 5. I was otherwise a very healthy person. The cancer diagnosis was a shock, as I'm sure it was for many of you when you were diagnosed. However, I was determined from the beginning that cancer would not define how I live, however long that would be. I would approach this fight with humor, fearlessness, and determination. I knew little about cancer at that point, but I knew that I had just entered the fight of my life, and I had to mentally and physically prepare for the battle ahead. I didn't want to just survive. I wanted to prevail. I wanted to destroy cancer with everything that I had, to defeat it with every fiber of my being, for other survivors, for my family, and most of all, for my 2 children. Cancer would not take me from them. I was prepared to endure any amount of suffering treatment would bring to beat this. Failure was not an option. Writing a speech about surviving cancer became more and more difficult as I delved into it. I asked myself over and over, what does that mean to survive cancer? I don't think one survives cancer any more than one survives life. Even those whose life ended with cancer are indeed cancer survivors, maybe the greatest survivors of us all. They showed us what a true fighter is until their last days. Their battle should be honored by the way they fought, with courage and determination, not by the number of days they lived. The truth is, none of us are getting out alive. Something is going to kill us. We all have limited time, though we rarely acknowledge that fact. It's the one commonality we share regardless of anything else that separates us. We all will die. A cancer diagnosis makes that fact crystal clear. It stops everything. Every dream, every fear, every hope, and every thought of tomorrow stops. It stops us and says, Jim, you are going to die. Our response should be then, how am I going to live? My cancer journey has been a birth of resorts, seeing the world, myself, and everyone around me in a whole new way. And while I lived spiritually and deeply before the cancer diagnosis and treatments that followed, I feel I've gained a much deeper appreciation for life and those in my life. I'm certainly not unique in this. Many people who have lived and died through hardship often have the same experience. As I reflect on this day, I wanted to share a few tidbits I've learned through my little journey. Some of you may have already experienced these things through your own hardships, and it's amazing how we come to the same understanding of things through different paths. Number 1, you are not who you think you are. Physical and emotional trials seem to strip you down to the core. There's no more ego, no more BS once you get down to the core of your being. You realize you're not the total sum of your experiences. They have formed your personality over the years, but you can change that at any moment. Number 2, you're stronger than you think you are. I had a lot of favorite quotes I would find inspiration through the past few years, and one of my favorites was, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. I'm not sure who originally said this, but it is so true. Your strength comes from your mind. It can drive your body beyond the limits you have placed on it. Treat your mind well, guard it against negativity and negative self-talk. Number 3, every moment is precious. Over the years, I've delved into different kinds of spiritual training. The one that stuck with me most has been Zen training. My first Zen teacher told us at one point that disaster would visit us one day. We would not be able to stop it or change it. It would be more powerful than we could ever be. All we could do is breathe through it, be present through each moment, and endure it if we survived. I was in my early 20s when he gave me this advice, and of course I thought that that's never going to happen to me. Well, his words rang loud and clear when I laid in a hospital bed in my second week after surgery, feeling the most pain and being the sickest I had ever been in my life, unable to move without vomiting. I remember just breathing as slow and as deep as I could to get from one moment to the next. That next breath, that next moment became so precious to me. I will never forget those moments. Every moment we can take the next breath is a precious moment. Don't waste a single breath of your life. One day, that single breath will be your last. Number 4, embrace the relationships you have. I cannot tell you the closeness I feel to everyone in my life, even for those I'm not particularly close to. People in our lives are here to be loved. It's our responsibility to show love and compassion to our family and friends, even those we disagree and argue with. I have never regretted being compassionate and loving. I have regretted being an a-hole. For me, this may be the biggest struggle. I've tried so hard to hug people when they are comfortable with it, and even sometimes when they are not. I've been giving a lot more hugs in the last year. Number 5, be grateful. Without the care of so many, I would like to acknowledge this evening, I would not be here to deliver this speech to you tonight. I would like to express my humble gratitude to the following people. My medical team at Hinsdale Hospital. They are amazing people, and surely I owe my life to their care and excellence, compassion, and dedication to their profession. My now ex-wife Renee and her family, who cared for me during my initial diagnosis and treatment, and continues to be understanding of my lingering side effects, even now in a year and a half after treatment. My mom, who has been an oncology nurse for most of her life, and whose office administered my radiation treatments. I cannot imagine the helplessness and fear she hid from me as she witnessed the effects of my chemotherapy and radiation treatments firsthand. The unwavering support, strength, and unconditional love I found in my father, my stepmother, my siblings, my family members, and my friends. The camaraderie and inspiration I found in my fellow cancer survivors as they showed me how a true warrior fights their battles. My Aunt Colleen, my friends Scott Carrera, Amy Vota Fierro, Ashley Glickman, and Tim Armstrong. The second chance at love I found in my girlfriend Michelle, who has helped and encouraged me to climb mountains, both literally and figuratively. And lastly, the love, faith, and hope I find in my daughters Brianne and Sophia. They are a daily reminder why I fought and why I will continue to fight cancer until my last breath. Last, number 6, love yourself. I think for most of us, this is the toughest thing to do on a daily basis. We are all so busy loving and caring for each other, we rarely return that love to ourselves. I'm talking about real compassion for yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, holding yourself to a higher standard of excellence, but not punishing yourself when you don't always meet that standard. Don't get lazy, but don't beat yourself up. Wake up the next day and try harder. Be your own hero. Be your own inspiration. Don't take yourself too seriously. Do your best, but don't be attached to the result. Focus on the doing. Don't be so hell-bent on the destination that you don't enjoy the landscape of the journey. Sometimes you never make it to the destination. Enjoy the ride. I would like to end with a quote that spurred me on when I had nothing left, that inspired me beyond my limits, that made me realize I had to sacrifice who I was for what I would later become. This is from the movie Rocky Balboa, written by Sylvester Stallone. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, and nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. And that is how winning is done. So my brothers and sisters, this is for us. The caretakers, the survivors, the warriors. Cancer is tough, but we are tougher. Thank you for this great honor, and relay on.